Thank you for your introduction as always, Galina. And for those of you who have joined us nice and early, thank you for being here as well. Today, we will do a quick review of Facebook stats and really top level overview of the benefits of using Facebook for business, for just in case anybody didn't attend last week. And then the majority of the session is going to be live building a Facebook page. If you already have a Facebook page, don't worry too much, because I'm absolutely sure that as I go through the steps, there will be things, especially if you've had your page for a while, because Facebook is constantly changing. There will be things that you will find that you need to update or to switch things around, maybe change the template a little bit. So there's going to be something in this workshop for everyone. My plan is to have the entire Facebook page built with starter content within the first hour 15 minutes of the workshop, depending on how many questions and things I get along the way. And then the last 15 minutes, I'd really like to dedicate to you guys sharing your screens with me and sharing the pages either that you built today or that you updated, so that I can really give you feedback and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so unlike the first two sessions, I'm not going to keep my camera on the entire time, because I'd much rather you focus on the screen sharing that I'm doing, and I'm going to be doing a lot of back and forth. So it's not important for you to see me today, but as long as you can hear me and you can see the screen, that's the most important thing. And then next week, if you join me for Instagram best practices, I'll have the camera on the entire time. Okay, so let us get started. And I see that there's some more people joining, which is great. Let me just turn my camera off. And then we will be good to go. Okay. All right, so hopefully you guys are in front of your computers and ready to go with the session. Again, the first couple of slides will just be a quick review, so you have some time to get all set up, and then we'll get started. As always, if you have any questions after the presentation, please feel free to email me. You have all of my contact information here. And I will be happy to help you with anything. And by all means, follow me on social media. I'm constantly sharing tips and resources on social media for digital marketing. So this is today's agenda, quick review. We'll go through the Facebook stats, the benefits of using Facebook, and I will show you the page actually, or give you the URL for the page where I actually built the workshop steps for today. The Facebook blueprint resource that they have that's available for free. And by all means, in addition to this workshop, you should go through the little exercises yourself. And then once we cover that, we will go live and we will build the page together. Like I said, hopefully that's done within the first hour 15 minutes of the class. And then the last 15 minutes will be dedicated to you guys. I'll ask you to share your pages so that I can take a look. And then, of course, Q&A. All right, so quick review for those who didn't join us last week. These are the Facebook statistics as of 2020. So Facebook for Business works using a combination of two main marketing strategies: organic and social paid content. So organic content is free, and we will actually add some organic content to our pages today together. And it's important when you're building the presence of your business page. So you need content such as pictures and videos, facts about your business, facts about your products and services, because when you run paid campaigns, all they will see is that particular ad about whatever you're advertising. But then what most people do is they will follow the page, and it's not a good idea to have an empty page. When they get there, even if they just saw an ad for a promotion or a special event or something like that, you want to engage them and hold their interest by having organic content that continues to tell the story of your business. Many businesses use both tactics successfully, and organic social media is a good long-term strategy for building and interacting with your active following. And paid social media, you should think of this more as a good short-term strategy to kickstart awareness and, of course, to advertise special promotions. So that is how you should kind of think about this. You have to do both, but in terms of the benefits, the two of them serve two different purposes, but together in the long run, they work for your business. In terms of the benefits that we went over last week, Facebook is a great marketing tool for all business sizes. And the key benefits are that compared to traditional advertising, Facebook advertising is relatively affordable. Using Facebook is a great way for building brand awareness. And you also have an amazing opportunity to access and target your ideal target audience using Facebook ads. It's also a great way for driving traffic to your website. Actually, I highly recommend that one of your strategies or goals for Facebook should always be to drive traffic to your website. Also for generating qualified leads. So if you want to grow your email list for a specific product or service by using Facebook's targeting functionality in the ad manager, you're actually able to say, you know, I would like people who live within this certain zip code, who are looking for, I don't know, a new home or something like that. You would know in terms of your qualified leads what you're looking for, and then funnel those leads from Facebook into your email funnel, and then continue to market to them over time. And lastly, access to community insights, and we'll look at a little bit of those today, more in depth than we did last week when I was going over best practices. And once your page is up and running, within the first 30 days, you get a lot of business insights in terms of the demographics of your page's following, their behaviors, how active they are, the kinds of posts that they are responding to, and you are then able to tailor all of your business operations, well, at least your Facebook business operations, based on this amazing information that you will have access to through the business Facebook page. So this is the Facebook for Business page, and actually when you receive the presentation, if you just click on this slide, it will take you directly to the page, and you will see once you go there yourself that the steps that I take in today's presentation were pretty much sourced from there. Each of the lessons are no more than 5 minutes max, so if you have any questions after today's session, I highly recommend that you log on and take a look and go through the courses yourself, because at the end of the day, Facebook does the best job possible of teaching you how to use Facebook. All right, so today, again, we're going to be clear. We are going to build a Facebook business page, not to be confused with a Facebook personal profile. However, in order to have a Facebook business page, you must have a personal profile that owns the page. And this is a requirement that changed at one point. At one point, they were allowing you to set up a Facebook business page without it being attached to a personal profile, and they quickly got rid of that. And this is an issue, of course, of accountability. They need individuals to be accountable for what's being published on pages, so they have to be attached to a personal profile. Also, the benefits of having a business page, of course, there's access to ads, which a personal profile does not have, but business pages also get found by search engines. So if your page has a lot of great content and you're using the right keywords, then if someone goes to Google, for example, and types in certain search terms, if those search terms are included in your content on Facebook, your Facebook business page would come up. Business pages also give customers a good way to stay up to date with your business. And again, you can only have access to the Facebook Ads Manager if you have a business page set up. So this is not available for personal profiles. So hopefully everybody that's in attendance today at least has a Facebook personal profile. Okay, so at this point, I am going to go live to Facebook, and I'm going to build a Facebook demo page, I should say. And you guys, if you don't have a page right now, then you will follow along. And if you do have a page, just review the steps that I go through to make sure that you have all of the sections filled out. Because many times, and I'm going to apologize, people talk to me a lot on Facebook. Many times, even if someone has a page, going back and looking, they realize that they don't necessarily have everything filled out the way that it should be done. So like I said, there's something here for everyone in terms of today's exercise. Okay. So here we go. This is my Facebook personal profile homepage. And so to create a page, I'm going to go here, create, and I'm going to select page. At this point, you have the option of deciding whether you want to create the page as a business or a brand, or as a community or public figure. Most of you will be selecting business or brand, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. And so the next thing that you would have to do, of course, is to fill out all of your business basics. So the name of this demo page, I'm going to call it Curated Home Style by Chrissy. And the category of the page is going to be an interior design page. So I'm just going to say, and you know, if you're unsure, you just start typing and automatically Facebook gives you some options. So it's going to be an interior design studio. Address, you absolutely have to, and this goes back to the issue of accountability. You absolutely have to add an address, or else Facebook will not allow you to proceed any further. So say for some reason I'm like, I don't want to add my address, and I click continue, I will be stopped. You can't go much further. So I'm going to use the address of my old office space, since it is a public address. York, not Scarsdale, New York, New York. Wow, why is it New York, New York showing up? That's weird. Here we go. And the zip code there was 0027. Phone number is optional, so I'm not going to fill it up right now. Now, once you have entered an address, you do have the ability to hide it if you don't want it to be public. So this is more for Facebook, not necessarily information that will be shared with your fans if you don't want it to be shared. So for example, if you have a home-based business, you may not want to share your private home address with everyone. However, if you have an actual business location, then by all means, it would make sense to share the address. So in this case, I'm going to say don't show my address because this business actually doesn't exist here. And I'm going to click continue. Okay. So the next step usually is to add a profile picture. And if you remember from last week, the profile picture usually is either the logo of the business, or sometimes people use a product shot with the name of the business underneath. Remember, this is part of your brand story. So whatever pictures that you choose should be, you know, attractive and clear, so that when somebody visits your business page, they actually know what the business is about, especially if they find you by accident or from an ad. So I'm going to upload a picture from, I created some presentations, some graphic assets myself yesterday for this demo. So I'm going to go to my profile and cover images, and this is just a simple logo that I created in Canva. I know you guys are going to have a class in Canva. All right, so the first thing, it happened so quickly. I'm not even sure if it uploaded it. All right, so hopefully it uploaded it. That was so quick. And then the second question you're going to be asked is to upload a cover picture. And the purpose of the cover picture is to further tell the audience what your business is about. So I'm going to go back again. And this is a cover image that I created in Canva. Okay. The next prompt would be for you to get online bookings through Facebook. I'm going to say not now because to begin with, this is not a real business, so I don't want to go messing with my calendars and things like that. But if your business is the kind of business that someone can schedule an appointment, such as a spa or a restaurant or anything like that, maybe even if you have a service business and you want people to book, consultation calls and that sort of thing, you will click the add online booking here and connect it either to your booking tool or your calendar or however you currently take your bookings. So for now, I'm going to skip this and I'm going to say not now. If for whatever reason this does apply to you and you want to do that step, I'm going to give you like about 3 seconds to actually do it so that if you want to show me anything when we come to the question and answers portion, I can actually see what happened. So that was really quick. I was worried that the pictures weren't being uploaded, but as you can see, this is the beginning of my business page. So this is my profile picture, which is the simple logo that I created in Canva. And this is the cover picture. And as you can tell, if you just visited this page, you would immediately be able to see that it has something to do with home decor or furniture. And so make sure that your cover images as well as your profile picture immediately tell the story of your business. Okay. Very important. I'm just trying to give the people, I don't know who's trying to connect booking, but I'm just stalling a little bit in case someone is doing that. Okay, so let's keep going with building the page. Here is where you would create a username for the page. And the value of creating a username is so that people can find your page in search or very easily, so that if they just went on Facebook, they would just use that name to find you, okay? So let's see if curated home style username isn't available. So I'll keep going by Chrissy. So there's already a Facebook page that is called Curated Home Style. And so that is actually a good exercise and lesson for anyone on the call who may just be starting a business and has not claimed their social media profiles yet. If you're absolutely sure about the name of your business, I would highly recommend that you set up the page and claim your username, because what happens a lot is that people wait, and then when they're finally ready to set up their profiles, and this is not only on Facebook but on Instagram, on Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you think you're going to be, somebody else already owns your username and then you're in trouble. So I would almost immediately, once you're sure that you're going forward with this business, you can create a page and not make it public. So don't worry about it not having any content, just don't publish it. But at least you will be sure that you secured your username. So Curated Home Style by Chrissy is available. So I'm going to create it. Okay. And so what this does, as you can see, is it creates a unique URL for the page. So you, instead of saying facebook.com/whatever, I can now share fb.me/curated home style by Chrissy. And in terms of messages, we can use this as a message URL for customers or anybody who's interested about the brand to send messages directly to the page. So we'll click OK. All right. So the first step is usually to invite 10 people to like the page, which of course, in my case, I'm not going to do because this is not a real business and I don't want to annoy my friends. Everybody has way too much going on as it is. But here is where you would invite your initial 10 people to follow your page. Okay, just to kind of get some some eyeballs, maybe for feedback initially, and to make sure that, you know, however you are setting up the page, it looks good. You know, just initial people to give you feedback. Okay. So now we're going to go to the Edit Page Info tab. And so what Facebook generally does is it gives you alerts as to all of the things that need to be filled out to make your page complete. And so this is where I find that even people who have Facebook pages already sometimes have not filled out all of the information correctly. So this would be your opportunity to do so. So I'm just going to go through the motions. And again, this is a fictional business, but for you, please take the time to actually fill out the description of your business. So the limit of the characters is 255 characters. So it's just a brief summary of your page. So I'm just going to say curated home style by Chrissy is a design studio that features chic, affordable home design ideas from our favorite curated sources or something like that. I'm totally making this up on the fly. Of course, for your business, you will have a lot more to say, but I just want to go through the motions. So I will save the changes. All right. Now, the next thing that you would want to make sure is to see if there are any categories, additional categories that may fit your business. So for me, I'm going to see if there's interior design studio is definitely the main category. Let's see if maybe furniture is a category. So home decor, I think, is much better than just furniture. So I'm going to say home decor. Home decor, oh my goodness, sorry guys. Home decor, and what else could possibly, home decor, maybe furniture as well. I'll just say furniture. Okay, and save the changes there. Here is where you would enter your phone number. Hopefully, I won't fill this out just, of course, for this demonstration, but hopefully you won't be checking my page doesn't have a phone number, because if you do, you're losing the opportunity to be contacted by potential customers. So by all means, fill in the phone number. Okay, as it says, adding a phone number makes it easier for potential customers to contact you. Again, here, because this is a demo, I'm not going to fill this out, but by all means, please add the website of your business. Same thing for here. You should definitely have all of this information filled out. For a real page, this should never be blank. And many times, people have existing pages where those fields are blank. Okay. So here is where it comes to the address. And if your business has a street address that customers visit, then by all means, you would want it to be checked. Okay. Here is where you have the ability to add your service areas. So many times, even though a business is located, say, in Midtown, they may also service Brooklyn or specific parts of Brooklyn or Queens or wherever. And so this is your way of indicating that you are not limited to just doing business where your actual office is located, right? So in this case, my old office space was located in Harlem, but that didn't mean that I only did business in Harlem. So I could type, where did it go? It's very temperamental, these things. I could have typed I can see. So sensitive. Anyway, you guys, I don't know what's going on. It's misbehaving. But you get the idea. If you also serve other areas, this is where you would indicate that. I'm just going to click out of that because it's being temperamental. So I'm just going to say Brooklyn, New York, just for demonstration purposes. But you can add as many areas as is applicable to your business. All right, this is where you indicate your hours of operation. And so most people who have actual physical locations have, you know, business hours maybe from 9 to 5 or whatever. And so here you would just select that simply and save the changes. The way you would in the event for always open, that's more of like an e-commerce store sort of situation. Like if you were selling products online, of course your business is always open because they just need to go to your website to purchase. But in terms of an actual brick or mortar store or a service business, these are usually the hours that most of us would select. This speaks to your ability to indicate, especially with the current situation that you're experiencing, whether you're operating as usual, whether you're temporarily closed, or whether you're open with service changes. So a lot of restaurants where you are or were using this functionality to indicate that they were not actually open for dining in, but they were open, say for example, for takeout. Okay, so let's see if we selected open with service changes. Here is where, and this was actually added or updated, I should say, in response to COVID. So you can say, you know, open for delivery, pickup, other changes. You would indicate that here, and then you would go ahead and hit save. Okay. Here is where you would specify your price range in terms of your products or services. So if, you know, a lot of people don't like to choose this because they think it's a deterrent, like, you know, this means that you're really expensive. This means that you're not so expensive. That can send a different message to many people. So it's up to you. For a business like the one that I'm building, the demo business, I would, since I said it's an affordable way, I would select, you know, so it's not too cheap, but it's not too expensive, and to save that. If you have a privacy policy on your website, and so privacy policies speak to what you do with people's information once you collect them. So if you're collecting email addresses for newsletters or you're running contests, you should have a privacy policy on your website that pretty much says you do not sell this information to any other third parties. All information collected is only used by you to market the business and keep in contact with your subscribers. And that should be published on your website. And once you have it on your website, you should just copy and paste the link to your privacy policy right here on Facebook. Okay, so of course, in my demo business, I don't have any of that. So this is as much as I will fill out for this section. And of course, Facebook is urging us all to fill this out to completion as much as possible because it's to the benefit of the page to have this information completed. All right, so hopefully everybody has a clear understanding of this part. The next section that I want to go to is templates and tabs, sorry. Now, if you set up your Facebook page a while ago, this was not always an option. And so for those of you who have pages, you may not have even realized that you now have the ability to choose a template for your Facebook page based on the kind of business that you have. And so because I said that this is an interior design service, Facebook already guessed that the kind of template that I should be using is a services template, and that is the page, that is the way the page is currently organized, because it's a service business and these are the default tabs here that Facebook thinks that the kind of business that I have would possibly need. And of course, you don't have to use all of them, but most times they're right on the money. So if any of you have an existing Facebook page that you put up a while ago, this functionality, I don't want to give you misinformation, but it's only a couple of years old. So if you've had your Facebook page for more than 5 years, chances are that you didn't realize that there's this option. So in order to change the template of your current Facebook page, if you already have one, you will go to settings, just like I did. Then on the left column, you will hit templates and tabs. And then to explore the kinds of templates that exist, you will click edit. And here you get access to the different templates that Facebook now has available based on the kind of business that you have. Okay, and so I will very quickly go through the differences. So this is the service template, and this is the template, as you see, that this page currently has based on the fact that I said that it's a service page. And so this is, they give you a really quick outline of how the page is organized, okay? And this, you know, the services template is designed to help people find your services and get in touch. And that's what it looks like. This is the business page. And so this would be a business, more of a B2B page, right? So you don't have actual products, but you have a service. So similar to my kind of business. Sorry, let's go back. Then if you have a venue, okay, so maybe you have some sort of hall or a restaurant or a nightclub or something like that. This is the template that you would use. Okay, as you can see, events is almost placed immediately after home because that's the thing that you would want to publicize the most. Let's keep going. The next option is a nonprofit. If you have a nonprofit, this is the template that you would choose. If you're a politician, and that's the kind of template that Facebook feels. I'm gonna have to turn my notifications off at some point. That, you know, let's see what their pages look like. Designed to help politicians reach their supporters and communicate, okay. And then restaurants and cafes, shopping, you guys get the idea. So based on most of us who had our pages for a while will just have this standard template. This was the original Facebook business page template, but you now have the opportunity to manipulate the look and feel of your page based on the kind of business that you have. So that is definitely something that if you have an existing Facebook page, you may not have noticed. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Before I do move on though, does anybody have any questions about anything that I've gone over so far? I know that we're just starting, but sometimes the beginning parts are where people have questions in terms of clarifying the kind of information that they should share. Okay. So we went over usernames and you saw how I chose mine, but just some guidelines in terms of choosing the username for your own page. You're only allowed to use letters, numbers, and periods. You're not allowed to use any special characters. You're not allowed to use any extensions like .com or .net. Your usernames have to be at least 5 characters long. Okay, so those are just some ways that some best practices in terms of setting up your usernames, and hopefully you guys already have them set up. Okay, so now let's go back to the main page. Okay, So this button at the top here is called a call to action button. And since it's at the top of the page, I highly recommend that the call to action be the main thing that you want people to do after they interact with your page. So after they've looked at your content, after they've looked at some videos, some pictures, what do they want them to do? So call to action buttons can encourage people to book appointments, contact your business directly through chat, email, or phone, download an app, or to buy something. And so to update your call to action button, you would simply click here, add button, and you get the options that are available to you. Okay, so of course I don't have any of the back-end stuff because this is a demo page, but by all means, whatever applies most to you. So if it would be booking, it'd be your book now button, and then you would connect it to whatever booking system you have. If it's contact you, right? You have all of these various options as to how you would want your community to contact you, and you would select it and then insert the URL. If it's learning more about your business, is it watching a video? I actually think watching a video is a great way to articulate the value that your business provides. Or learning more would just be sending them to your website. Is it shop with you? And we went over shop now, buying a gift card, seeing offers. We went over in last week's class the whole shopping feature on Facebook. And if you have an app or a game, this is where you would also invite your community to interact with that app or game. So hopefully everyone has something that they can add to their call to action button right now. And I'll just give you a few minutes to do that. And if you have an existing page and this is not filled out, by all means, take the time to update it. Okay, let's keep going. Page transparency, you can see exactly where when the page was created. That's very important because they need to keep track. Page was created today. There are no ads from the page. The page has no history. If you have an existing page, click on this tab and see what it says about you in terms of the history of your page. It's very interesting to see what they're tracking at this current time. Okay. All right, so let us keep going with adding content to the page. Now there's a section of the page that I'm not seeing available yet on this page, and I think it's because there hasn't been any real content shared. But right here, after a period of time, you have the ability to add your story to the page. And adding your story helps you to actually articulate the history of your brand. And so what I'm going to do later on is that I'm just going to show you, and I think that I showed you last week what the story section of the page looks like. So that if you've had your page for a while, you should have that option. It's usually right here where you add the story, and you can pretty much give a more in-depth explanation of the genesis of your business. All right, let's keep going. All right, so now we will move on to adding some starter content to the page because, unless there's content saying your page isn't reaching any people, of course, because there's nobody following it and I haven't invited anyone. All right, so it's always important to have some starter content available to add to your page. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I am going to create some themed albums, some themed interior design albums. Creating albums for your pictures are a best practice. It allows you to categorize the images, categorize the graphic elements of the page, and having albums as opposed to one-off pictures allow you to grasp the attention of your audience And it also stimulates more engagement and the length of time that they spend on the page, because it's very easy, in a couple seconds someone can look at one picture. However, it takes them maybe up to a minute to go through an album and look at different pictures. So I will go through that exercise of adding um, themed albums to the page, and you should take this opportunity as well. If you are just starting your page, hopefully you have some beginning content that you can add. If you have a page already, and there are updates that you need to make to the page, and you have not organized your photos in albums, now would be a good opportunity for you to do so. So I will go to photos. And right off the bat, Facebook creates two albums for you, your cover photos album and your profile pictures album. Now, since the profile picture is usually the logo, this wouldn't change. However, it is advised as an update, even if you do it once a quarter or even twice a year. Sometimes people update their cover photos if they're having special events or rolling out a new product. It's advised that you do change and update your cover photo to keep things fresh. It also helps in terms of every time you update a cover photo, it counts as an actual post on the page. So it counts towards the freshness of your content and can actually help to drive engagement. So like I said, I always recommend that we create albums instead of just uploading one-off pictures. And so I will go back to my curated. And you guys, exactly what I did yesterday, like it took me about maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to curate these pictures. They're all royalty-free images, to be clear. I didn't go on Google and I'm not stealing people's pictures that I don't have permission to use. I got all of these pictures from Pixabay, Pixabay.com. And there are several sites like Pixabay that have royalty-free images that you can use on your website or in social media if you don't have images on your own of your own. However, if you're marketing a business, especially if it's products, I will highly recommend that you use your own images. But sometimes when publishing starter content, people need a little bit of help. And so just to have an engaging presence, it's okay to use royalty-free images. So the first album that I'm going to create is my lighting album. And so I will just simply select some of the pictures that I uploaded yesterday in my lighting folder, and I'll click open. And so while they're uploading, I will name the album, and of course you will want to give the albums names that will, inspire engagement. So I'm going to say lighting that we love or something like that. Okay, here is your opportunity to give a description. You can say these are the, these are the lighting fixtures that we have used with our clients over the last 12 months or something. Of course, I'm making this up, but you would want to definitely be as descriptive as possible and use as many keywords as possible. So you add the pictures, you use the description. In this case, location doesn't really matter, but sometimes if you're posting pictures that have to do with a specific location, you can actually post where the pictures belong in terms of geographic location. I highly recommend that you describe every single picture in the album as clearly as possible, and also always add a website link where people can go back to your website for more information. And so in my case, of course, I'm not going to do that because this is a demo account, but for you, by all means, make sure your album has a name, a description, and that every image has, even if it's just like a one-word description or a couple lines, with a link back to your website or a link to where they can learn more about your business. Okay? Here, you can actually choose to hide these updates from your newsfeed, so they're not distributed to your newsfeed. However, when you're just starting out your page, you'd want to have as much engaging content as possible fed to the newsfeed. So in this case, I will not check that box, and I will just click post. Okay, and so that is our lighting album. Okay, so if we go back to the home page, we will see that it's there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add all of the pictures that I curated yesterday, so that you can, you know, get a feel. And also, if you are doing any picture adding yourself, then you are able to do it along with me. And here is where you can comment once your fans start making comments about the pictures. You can immediately respond to them right here. Okay, so and here we can see that because I chose to not hide the pictures that I just added to from the news feed, that they show up as a really nice collage as beginning content. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to create all of the albums that I saved pictures for, and you guys can go ahead and do the same. Or if you have pictures on your page without descriptions, which I know that many of you do, you can go ahead and start adding some descriptions, as well as maybe adding some links to additional content that oh wait, no, I don't want to showcase this yet. Add links to additional content that can that your current fans can take a look at to learn more about your business. So we're just going to go ahead and do that together. All right, so I'm creating another album. And I just did my lighting. I'm going to do my living spaces. And maybe I'm not going to do all of them, but just for demonstration purposes. Yeah, I really enjoyed curating these pictures because interior design happens to be one of my hobbies. So this was kind of fun finding these pictures. And so this is going to be my living room. And I'm going to call it Luxurious Living Rooms.
Bettina, we have a question in
Sure.
the chat. Can you add description to a group of photos?
This is where the group description would be.
Okay.
So the description to the album, right, would apply to all the photographs in the album. So you can do that, but I also highly recommend that you also do, and again, this can be like the huge description, you know, you can get into depth here. The descriptions on the individual pictures don't have to be as detailed, but they definitely help you in terms of being found with keywords. And it's an additional, so many times, you know, people find our content a variety of ways. So if they click on the album, of course, they will see the description here. But many times, especially if you're resharing content, they may only see this one picture, right? So you never want to lose the opportunity to give as much information as possible that will be helpful to your business, which is why I say, in addition to doing the general description here, you do mini descriptions for the images, and you always include a link back to your website or your newsletter, something additional where they can go to get information. All right, so that's going to be the living rooms. That's a great question. Does anybody have any more questions in regards to adding the beginner content? For those of you who have pages, were you doing this already? Were you creating albums and were you writing detailed descriptions? I'm just interested to know. Don't be shy. You can unmute yourself and let me know.
So, yes, I'm doing that.
Okay.
But I want to go in and add more description to each picture.
Right.
But to be frank, I have like over 2,000 pictures.
Right. So for you, because you've had your page for a while, unless you have an intern that you can put on that job, I would just say just do it going forward. Because to sit down and write descriptions for 2,000 pictures at this point, I mean, you know, It doesn't make sense unless you had somebody you can dedicate to do it. So what I would say for you, since you've clearly had your page for a while, just do it going forward.
Okay, so I have a question about that. If I do it going forward, because I do have a teenage daughter.
Right. Let her earn her keep. Yes, is that what you're thinking?
Right, exactly. If I say I add, because I own a bakery, so say
Right.
I add, so I have two questions while I have it. If I add the pictures with descriptions and it says like Elmo cake, when people go to Facebook and they type in Elmo cake, are those pictures going to be searches?
It could, right? It could come up in, so when you search on Facebook, actually, let me demonstrate this a second. Let me just make, this is the last album I'm going to create because I think you guys get the idea. When you do a search on Facebook for a keyword or a phrase, right? You have the option of saying what kind of content you're looking for in regards to that word or phrase. So is it a page? Is it a post? Is it pictures, right? And so your pictures have a good chance of coming up in a search. Okay, I don't want to lose the page, so I'm just going to open a new Facebook tab. So say what is it, Elmo cake? So
Yes.
say I went to Facebook and I typed Elmo cake, right? And I did search. Facebook usually asks what kind of content am I looking for in regards to Elmo cake, right? So am I looking for posts? Am I looking for people? Am I looking for photos? See what I mean? So if your photos, this is a great way to demonstrate why you should name your photos. If your photos are tagged with Elmo cake, and of course there are millions of photos, right? But you have a chance of being found if somebody is looking for photos of an Elmo cake. See what I mean? So these photos came up because this person, see, Elmo inspired for his birthday cake. So that is a great case for very simple. I don't know if this person is oh no, it is. She is a baker. Cute Cakes by Angel, right? So that pretty much proves my point as to why you should add descriptions to your content. You have a really good chance of coming up in an organic search when someone is looking for products or services that you offer. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect, no problem. Great question. Yeah, so I think your daughter may have a big job on her hands. Sounds like it.
Yeah, we have a question from David. He's asking, is there a way to reorder the images in an album in order to choose which becomes the thumbnail of the entire album?
Absolutely, absolutely. And they change things all the time, but in the edit section, you used to be able to rotate the image. No, there used to be a moving thing where you can like move. This is add photos. All right, so let me figure this out because there used to be a way where you can you drag and drop? Yep, perfect. So you can drag and drop. Before there were arrows where you like push them back and forth. So now it looks like it's drag and drop where you can do that. Great question. Any more questions? Perfect.
You guys can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Yes, don't be shy because I'm here. You know, the whole point of us doing this is so that I can help you. Too bad we can't be all together in the same room, but let's try to make the best of the opportunity while you have me here to help you guys to figure out how to do this the right way or the better way. Okay, and so just to explain what you're going to get in terms of a follow-up for this presentation, since it's a live presentation, you're wondering what your the hard copy is going to look like. And so the hard copy of this presentation is actually going to be screenshots of the steps that we did, either screenshots of the steps or links to resources from Facebook that can help you to continue the steps, so that if you don't quite get anything today, don't worry about it. Once you get the hard copy, which I sent to Galena last night, you'll be able to actually pretty much go through the presentation on your own. And so, like I said, I'm not going to add all of the images to the page, but you guys get the idea. Very simple what I did, just creating a few albums with really great pictures. And now my page that I just created, 20 minutes ago, actually looks, engaging enough for someone who stumbles upon it to say, hey, these are some really beautiful pictures. These people do amazing work. I may actually want to, consider them for my upcoming home project, or maybe refer them to a friend that may have a need for an interior designer. And that's the whole point of setting up your presences, you guys. You really need to use it as the initial front door to your business, because everyone is searching for products and services online, at least starting online and then going offline to complete transactions. Okay. So the next thing I want to do, give us all a break from doing, if you've been doing, is to show a mini video on how, after you've added your starter content, that you actually work on growing the presence, growing the following of your page. Because as you can see, every time I add content, Facebook is reminding me, great, but absolutely no one is seeing these lovely pictures you're adding because you don't have any followers. And again, the whole point of doing this is that the whole point of doing this is so that people can view your page. So let me just go back to the main presentation for a second, and we will do the video share. Just give me 1 minute. And while I toggle back to that, this is a great time if you guys have any questions to ask me, anything additional, so that we're making the best use of our time together. So any questions, anyone? No, we have it covered. All right, so and then we're going to toggle. This is everything that we've covered so far. Maybe this is a good review while I get to the video. As you see, this is what you're going to get as a follow-up in terms of adding content to the page in case that there's something that you missed. The story part, which isn't showing up for us, but I'm going to show you guys. This is where, if you're having problems adding pictures and video, this is going to be hyperlinked. You can just click there and go to the Facebook resource page. And then this is the little video that we will look at together. And I need to make sure that I'm sharing my computer sound with you so you can hear it. Okay. And so this is the Facebook for Business resource page that I keep mentioning that everybody should become best friends with, because it's really helpful in terms of.
So you created a page, but nobody likes it yet. How do you get people to like your page? Let's talk about that. Adding a cover photo is a good start. Pages with cover photos typically get more page likes and visits. Once you've added a cover photo, you'll be prompted to invite your friends. You can skip this and come back to it once your page is set up. In fact, you can do this anytime. Start on your page and click Community in the left column. In the right column, you'll see a field for inviting friends to like your page. Enter a friend's name in the search box and then click Invite next to their name. Alternatively, you can click through the list. Why should I invite my friends to my business page if they aren't exactly my customer? Getting your friends to follow your page is the quickest, most efficient way to start building a presence and drive awareness. Remember, your friends have friends, and they might be interested in following your business and your new page. Another way to get more page likes is to share it. You can announce it to all of your friends by clicking the Share button under the Page tab at the top or under the Notifications tab. If you have a website for your business, add a link to your Facebook page there. Here's a pro tip. You're inviting all of these people to your page. Welcome them when they arrive. Create a welcome post and pin it to the top of your page. Say something like, "Welcome to my new page. I'm so excited to share all of the work I've been doing the last year." And now you know the basics of inviting friends to your page.
Okay, so pretty simple. Pinned posts are posts that live at the top of the page unless you remove them. So that is actually a great idea in terms of pinning a post that has a welcome message. So for those of you who have a page already, I'm pretty sure that's something that you may not have been aware of. So, by all means, you can go ahead and, create a great welcome message. A lot of people prefer to use a graphic, nice little welcome graphic that's branded. That's one way that you can do that. And if you're just creating your page, you may want to think a little bit about the kind of welcome message that you will share, but it's definitely something that you should have as part of your lineup. Okay, so the next mini video we're going to talk about is assigning roles to the Facebook page. Now, when you are starting out with your page as the business owner, you may be the one that's setting it up and making sure that all the right content is there. But over time, and I think it's Nora who may ask her daughter to add descriptions to those 2,000 pictures, you will want to assign roles to people who will help you to manage the page, and you don't necessarily want to be giving them your personal Facebook login. And so this is a way for you to share access to the page without giving away your personal login, so that others, whether they're team members or other people that work with you, are able to add content or run ads or update pictures and videos easily. And so we're going to look at another little mini video that explains how to do that. Close these extra tabs. Okay.
When you're ready to assign a page role to someone, you have 6 options with varying degrees of access. I'll walk you through them to help you understand how this works. The admin role gives people total access to make changes to your page. The editor role can do everything but manage page roles and settings. Moderators can send messages and respond to comments as the page. The jobs manager can post job openings and manage applications on behalf of your business, while advertisers can only create ads and view insights. Finally, the analyst role only lets people see insights and who's published on a page.
Okay, so to be clear, you will never want to give admin access to someone who may be a junior team member or an intern or someone that you don't want to have total control of the page. I usually recommend that you start off with just giving editor access, and then once you do so, you can, determine later on whether the level of access for that person needs to be increased. Does anyone have any questions about the levels of access to the page and how you can assign them? I'm actually going to do a mini demonstration so that you see exactly how to do that. All right, so you would go to settings on the page. So going back to our demo page. And here you will select page roles. Okay. And so here, if you already have people assigned to the page, here is where you will see your existing page roles. I'm the admin of the page because I created the page belongs to me. And here is where you would assign a page role to someone. Like I said in the beginning, I think I would just give whoever editor access, so all they can do is add and update content, and you will invite them by typing their name or email address. They will need to be connected to you personally on Facebook, so they would need to be your Facebook friend, and they will also need to be following the page. So you would, most probably ask them to do those things first, and then once they do them, you just simply invite them by typing their name. So right now, this page has no followers, so I can't demonstrate how that works. However, in your case, especially if you've had your page for a while, you can just go ahead and do it do it right now here. Assign. So I think it was Nora who wants to assign her teenage daughter, give her access to help her to add description to those 2,000 pictures. Nora, here is where you would assign access to your daughter. Hopefully she's following the page and you guys are already connected on Facebook. Does anyone have any questions about that? Right, pretty straightforward actually. All right, so let's go through, we'll talk about them first and then we'll look at where all of these special features live on the demo page that I created. So aside from adding content like pictures and video and reviews over time, these are the important page tools that you should be paying attention to that help to drive traffic to your site, to your Facebook page. It can help to drive traffic to your website, and it can also really tell the story of your brand. So there's an events section. So by all means, if you are hosting events, you're a part of an event, you will definitely want to make use of the events section to list the event, to promote the event. You can actually run paid ad campaigns to promote an event. And it also, helps you to articulate that you have a vibrant, active brand. Facebook stories, most of you may already be familiar with this from your personal use. What has happened is that many brands are finding that they are enjoying the most engagement from their fans interacting with their Facebook stories. And so what they're doing is that they're actually posting content that they want to be highly visible in Facebook stories, and then using the story as a way of driving traffic either to the main page or to a website or to a registration page. So by all means, say for example, you just rolled out a new product. You would want to definitely make a page post about the product, but you would also want to make to publish a Facebook story about the product, because the way that the stories are organized in the end viewer's news feed, they appear at the top. So they're very attention grabbing, and a lot more interaction these days are going on in Facebook stories. Facebook Shop, we spoke about this last week, and the Facebook Shop can help you share your products or services, whether or not you sell them online. You can display and sell your products right on your page, making it very easy for your current and potential customers to purchase from you right from Facebook. And we spoke at length about that last week. We also spoke about groups, and your Facebook page can also own a Facebook group. And so, like I said, the Facebook group is an opportunity to connect more deeply with your Facebook audience. This is where you can actually get to know people personally and have useful discussions about specific topics. And so what I would do though is focus first on building the presence and the following of your Facebook page, because what happens is that it's easier for you to build the following of the group by pulling the following of the Facebook page. And so since the page owns the group, you would build the Facebook page, create the group, and then invite the followers from the page to become members of the group for deeper discussion. I'm just curious, does anybody that's on today have both a business Facebook page and group? No? Okay, something to think about. I know it's an additional step in more work, but over time, if you're looking to have, active conversations with your audience, the group is the easier way to do that. And then,
we
yes.
have a question from Nora. Is the group a different page than the business page?
Yes, it is. It's so a group, if you remember from last week, the group is another kind of page. I'm using page, but another kind of presence. I hate to use the word to describe the word. Another kind of presence. So you can have I can have my curated home style by Chrissy Facebook page. And then I could also set up a curated home style by Chrissy Facebook group. And the group would be, say, for example, to have more in-depth discussions with my top fans or people who ask a lot of questions or people who I collaborate with. So it's a more personal relationship that group members have as opposed to the public page that can have fans, potentially from all over the world. But, if you have a bakery in Brooklyn and people actually want to have back and forth conversations or ask you questions, then that in the group is where you would most likely have that kind of discussion. Good question. All right, and then there's Facebook Live. And Facebook Live is an interactive way to connect with people through live broadcast. And so, you can possibly, for Nora, I'm picking on you because you've been asking questions and you've had a presence for a while. So say, for example, you actually wanted to do a live broadcast of how you decorate your Elmo cake, right? I'm just using that because that's the question that you asked. You can actually, set up your live broadcast in your kitchen and go through the steps of how you create your cakes. And your fans can ask you questions as you go through the process, and you can answer them and do demos. And you can then use the recording of the live as additional content for the page itself. And so this is a, kind of a double opportunity because you're having a real-time interaction with your audience as you perform the cooking, the decorating of the cake, the baking of the cake, not the cooking, that's something else. The baking of the cake, the decorating of the cake, and then for anyone who missed you while you were doing it live, they still also have the opportunity to go back and look at the recording to see everything that you did. Anybody have any questions specifically about doing Facebook Live? All right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your Facebook inbox. Your Facebook business inbox is actually organized into 3 sections. There are your messages, which would just, that's simple. People send you messages back and forth, and you're able to respond to them. And then there are comments and more. So what Facebook, and this is a relatively new functionality, what Facebook realized is that many times when people are making comments on your page, if you are not paying attention in the moment, you may miss those comments. And so now what they've done is that they've organized those comments into your inbox. So as you check your inbox, you're actually able to click on the comments and more button and read comments and respond to them, so that you don't have comments on your page just hanging out, not being attended to, because remember, this is also part of your customer service arm of your business. So that was actually a great improvement that they made pretty recently, in terms of helping you to respond to your fans. Then there are also automated responses, and many of you may be familiar with these, and actually maybe I should, actually after this next video, we'll go and look at a page that may have some automated responses already set up. What it does is that it allows someone who's asking a question maybe to get an automated response for that particular question, or at least give them a response like, "Thank you for your inquiry, we'll get right back to you." So it gives you an opportunity to actually respond immediately to a fan or someone with a question, as opposed to just having them not get a response. All right, and let me just move on to the next slide because there's a video, and then we'll actually go and look at some examples of some pages that have that functionality set up so that you guys can see how it's intended to work. Okay, so let's take a look at what we should be doing in terms of measuring insights, and looking at your page's performance, because there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of content to add, but you really need to know if that content is hitting home in terms of connecting with your audience. So let's do that.
Well, hello there. In this video, we're going to talk about metrics. Reading metrics the right way will help you understand how successful your business page is, and that's really important. Thankfully, Facebook has a tool that will help you do this. It's called Insights. Page Insights are most useful for pages that have at least 100 likes. If you aren't there yet, you can still come along for the ride. Open up your page. Let's hit the highlights of Insights. Click on the Insights tab and follow along while I take a peek at Jaspers Market's Insights. In the overview, we can see how many likes Jaspers has every day. Here we can see that Jaspers has 5 recent posts. Let's look at this one. Jaspers posted about a sale they were having on German sausage. Yeah, how delish. Here we can see that a lot of people said, "Ja, bitte," or "Yes, please," to this offer. See how many likes the post got? Here under Reach, we can see the number of people who saw the post. That's interesting. I wonder what else Jaspers can learn from this fascinating fact. In all posts published, we can see the success of every post from Jaspers Market. There are columns here for reach and engagement, so we can see who saw the post from Jaspers, as well as the total of likes, shares, and comments. Now let's look at positive engagement. Of the 5 posts from Jaspers Market, this one about the special the bakery section was having on fresh from the oven salted chocolate chip cookies got the most likes. No surprises there. I bet if Jaspers started posting more about warm and delicious baked goods, they could see similar positive engagement and more customers, like me. On the flip side of positive engagement, there's poor engagement. This post from Jaspers about a food show and tele-event didn't get much love from their community. That's good for Jaspers to know. You want to know if people who see your posts are hiding or reporting them as spam. If too many people report or hide your posts, it may negatively impact your reach. Let's take a look at time of posts. Jaspers tends to post around lunchtime on weekends. This is good to take a look at because we can see when an audience is most active. Now it's time for you to poke around Insights and see what you can learn. What got the most likes and shares? Which posts were more engaging than others? I know that Facebook Insights will give you insight into your business. There's more to learn.
Okay, so hopefully that gave you a really good idea as to what you should be looking for, especially those of you who already have pages. Many people never pay attention to the Insights tab at all. And, as a result, they have no idea exactly how the content of their page is being received, if even they are reaching the right demographics in terms of their target audience. And so it's very, very, very important, you guys, to take a look at the insights. I mean, of course, right now this page will have no insights because I literally just set it up, but this is what the Insights tab looks like. As you can see, it's already tracking the posts that I did. So over time, if this were a real page, I would see exactly the kind of engagement that the page is experiencing. This is a nifty little tool that I love from Facebook, and it's existed for a while. And if you already have a Facebook page and you aren't doing this, please take this opportunity to add this to your Insights. Facebook, based on the way you set up your page and the way that you categorize your business, recommends pages that you should watch. And they're usually businesses that are similar to you that are performing pretty well on Facebook. This is their way of giving you some competitive insight as to what other businesses that are in the similar category like you, the kind of content that they're posting, what their engagement looks like. And so at this point, if you just set up your page or if you have an existing page, I would really like you guys to take a look at this section. And if you need me to go back as to how I got here from the main page, I selected more and then I selected Insights. And then I scrolled all the way. For those of you who have pages already, you should be seeing some statistics here. I wouldn't have those statistics, but I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom of this page. And Facebook should be recommending similar businesses like yours that you should watch, right? And the way that you would add the page to your watch list, and it benchmarks it against you. So you see I'm already, my page is #1 because that's the page that I care most about. But then you should also be adding pages to your list. And they initially encourage you to add 5 pages. So I just added that one to Yum Ula. I'm going to just add the pages they recommend because, you know, again, this is a fictional business. But for you, you should definitely be looking for competitors that you can learn from or people who have similar pages to you. So I just added everything that Facebook recommended. If the recommendations that they're making don't make sense to you, then you can always type the name of a business that you know that exists. And so what happens is that they give you a nice little snapshot as to how your competitors are performing within the last 7 days, within the last week. And so you see the amount of engagement, how many posts they made, how they're doing in terms of their community growth. Okay. And so you're able to benchmark yourself against what's going on with the competition. I think it's very important. It's very easy for us, especially as small business owners, to just be distracted with what's going on in our world. But it's equally important to, keep your eye on the competition and to see what they're doing in terms of, gaining engagement from your share target audience, and also maybe what they're not doing so well. So for those of you who had Facebook pages, had anybody created a watch list yet? I'm just curious to know. You can unmute yourselves, don't be shy.
Oh, I have seen that before, and I watch a couple on my own, but I've never used that particular function.
Perfect. So now, now you can add it, right? And you can keep an eye and see what's going on.
I
Okay.
use the Insights a lot, but I've never seen that.
You've never used them. Yeah. You know what it is? It's really hidden. That is actually not a new feature of Facebook. It's been there for a very long time, but I think because of the way that it's positioned, most people miss it. Okay, I spoke about the inbox and the categories of messages you can have in the inbox. So I just wanted to show you guys live exactly what it looks like. And so this, this would be, your all messages tab where you see everything. Here is where you access the direct messenger, the direct messenger requests or connections, questions that people may have that they send directly to your Facebook's inbox. So that would be a messenger app. Here, if you have Instagram connected to your Facebook page, you can also monitor your Instagram activity. So, clearly today we don't have an Instagram page, but when we do our Instagram workshop, part of the exercise would be linking the Instagram page for this business. So I'm going to stay consistent with the Facebook page. And then what's going to happen is that I will be able to monitor the interactions on Instagram from the Facebook inbox. And if everybody's wondering why that is so, it's because Facebook bought Instagram a few years ago, so they're connected. Here I mentioned the comments and more. So, this is a nifty little tool that they added pretty recently to help you to actually respond to the comments that are made on page posts, because many times people miss them. All right. And then here is where you would set up your automated responses. Okay. And so, this is an example of a basic one, the away message, right? That they have and I'm going to put it on so that anybody that messages the page, instead of just hearing crickets, they will get this message that says, thanks for your message, you're away and can't respond right now. We appreciate you reaching out. So I would definitely recommend that you guys take some time and set up some automated responses, because it helps to in terms of customer service. If they're frequently asked questions, you should absolutely set up and this is the opportunity for you to do that here. You should definitely set up your frequently asked questions, some answers to those. But it also gives you a break in terms of worrying about responding to or missing any possible messages that you may be getting. Okay? So this is where this is an exercise in itself, because you have to kind of think deeply about the kind of automated response that you would use. And so just to give an example, I think the Brooklyn Museum has a simple automated response set up on their page, if I remember correctly, just to see how this works live and to give you guys some ideas as to how you can most large museums and things have this set up. So I just want to, hopefully they do. I just want to demonstrate how it should work once you set it up. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So you see, these are pretty much the questions that people usually ask when contacting the page. So instead of having somebody sitting down monitoring this inbox all day or having to worry about missing these sorts of questions, I could just simply click on this. This sends a notification, and then the answer should come back shortly. Okay? So that is the way that you would set that up. Now, usually, I think the reason why the hours don't come back to us, because I've seen this happen before, is because of the current situation we're in. So maybe they're operating on their special hours. But usually for a question as to when a business is open, the automated response would just be, we're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. But currently, I think all of these questions, the real answers probably aren't available because of the situation that we're in. But you guys get the idea in terms of utilizing the automated sections feature. Does anybody have any questions about the inbox and the sections of the inbox and how it can be used to help you to appear as responsive as possible? No? Okay. All right, so let me see what we have going on next. All right, so we did the video. I just wanted to highlight, because I think analytics are very, very important insights, and many of us don't pay attention to them. And so I just wanted to go through really quickly the analytics. I mean, there's lots of information, but the analytics or the reports that you should be paying the most attention to in terms of measuring the success of your page. So the first one would be the posts, and you can see in terms of the interactions of the success of the post. Here, it's very important to monitor when your fans are the most active or most engaged with your content, right? And so you should absolutely pay attention to the section that says when your fans are online, because it tells you 7 days of the week exactly by each day, right, when your fans spend the most time online. And why this is important as it relates to your posts is because if your fans are never logging on for whatever reason on Wednesdays and Fridays or whenever, then it's pointless posting content then. You don't want to waste your good content. So you definitely want to pay attention to the days that they're online as well as the times that they're online. So maybe they're online every day, but for whatever reason, nobody's paying any attention during a specific time period. So when it comes to actually posting your content, you want to make sure that you're posting the content around the times and on the days where your fans are most likely to engage with them. Does that make sense? Is anybody monitoring this right now? Most people usually don't. Okay. So that's just kind of like a clearer depiction of that. The next thing that you want to pay attention to is your demographics of your page. So many times the reason why a business page is not being successful is because the people who are following the page are not in line with who your target customer is. And so you definitely want to pay attention to the people portion of your insights and analytics, and make sure that the fans are who they should be, right? So, if your product targets, women predominantly, and your entire fan base are men for whatever reason, then that would help to explain why this page is not really helping you to achieve the goals of your business. And after the first 30 days, you will be able to see very clearly who your fans are in terms of their gender and actually where they're coming from. And they get as granular as the country, the city, and the language that they speak. Very important for you to monitor that. The next bit of content, so we spoke about the top pages to watch, and I showed you how to add those. And again, in terms of competitive information, this is very important to know, especially as it relates to the types of posts that you are going to be sharing with your share target audience. There's one thing that I do want to go back and show you before we move on to you guys showing me your pages and questions and answers, because I know a lot of people get discouraged thinking, oh my goodness, I have to come up with all this amazing content and I have to keep the page active and I can't be sitting down for hours on Facebook doing individual posts. And the good news is that you don't have to. Facebook a few years ago rolled out publishing tools. And in the publishing tools section of the page, you can actually designate time to sit down and to pre-schedule your posts and have them go out to the page when you intend them to go out. So very quickly, these are the options in the publishing tools section of the page. Over time, you will have a tab that shows all the posts that you've published to the page. This is where your scheduled posts that are lined up will be. This will where your drafts will be. This will where your expiring posts will be. Expiring posts are posts that are time sensitive. So say for example, you have some sort of sale that's ending, it's only lasting 2 weeks, right? So you wouldn't want that living on the page forever, because someone may see it after the 2 weeks and then you have a problem because they're like, well, I see that you have a sale and it's ended. Why is it still on the page? So here is where you would set the post to expire after a certain date. Here is where any videos that you upload to your library will live. Here is a creator studio. So, if you need help with adding sound to videos or adding graphics, this is where you would do that. Branded content refers to content where you may be collaborating with another brand, and there's a way that you actually tag the brand in your post as your branded content. Lead forms, here is where you actually collect information from ad campaigns to funnel into, say, maybe your newsletter. And so you would set up forms here that collect specific information for those campaigns. And of course, the shop would be where you will be actually selling on Facebook. So for today, since this is about building the page and it takes a while for you to get down here and start using these tools, what I will demonstrate is how you actually schedule a post or schedule a couple posts that will then be distributed on the page in the future. And this is what I usually recommend is that you designate maybe every Friday afternoon where you sit down for an hour, hour and a half, and you pre-schedule posts in advance to go out on your page for the next week. And you just do that every week. It becomes a part of what you do, or it becomes a part of what your teenage daughter does, Nora, or an intern or someone. And so you can guarantee that the page will remain active, because many times we go to Facebook pages and the last update was 6 months ago or 3 months ago, and it really doesn't look good. And so for the demonstration, I'm going to add, since I curated all of these beautiful pictures, and this is the kind of content that you can pre-schedule. You can just do single videos or photos. You can upload multiple videos. This is actually new. You can create a photo album, a photo carousel, a slideshow, an instant experience. So there are many ways that you can add content and pre-schedule it. For the sake of this demonstration, I'll keep it simple. And I'm saying I'm just going to upload a photo. And since I made the bathroom album, let's do pets. And I'm going to just select the picture of the cat on the leopard couch. Okay, and I'm going to say, how adorable is this kitty leopard couch? We recently added this interesting piece to the living room of one of our clients. And they loved it, right? Okay. And then if you like, you can add a call to action. If you would like information on this couch or whatever, contact us. Or sometimes it's just good to just share general information, because if the picture is engaging enough, they're going to contact you anyway. Okay. So this is since I already added a whole bunch of pictures to the page today, I think, I'm good, especially since, I still need to invite people and all of this good stuff. So I don't want to waste my content. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, you know what? For the rest of the week, I'm just going to focus on inviting people to the page and maybe, curating some more content to publish. So I'm going to wait until Friday before I actually have this post go out. And so I'm going to hit schedule. And I'm going to say, do not send this post until Friday at 10:30 a.m. Okay. Here, if this was a time-sensitive post, okay, is where I would say, I would click here and I would say after whatever day at, say it was a special promotion. So I would say at 12 p.m. on, for the sake of it, Friday, if this were a promotional post, and this post needs to not show up in my newsfeed anymore. Okay, but in this case, it doesn't apply. It's just a nice post that can live on there forever if I needed to. And then I would hit schedule post. Give me 1 second so I can show you where the post now lives. And so these are the published posts. These are all the posts that I did today. And in my scheduled post tab, I now have this post that will go out on Friday at 10:30 a.m. Okay. The other thing that you can do, so say your business has existed for 2 years already, but for whatever reason, you just decided to set up your Facebook page today, but you have amazing pictures that you can add to kind of like show. Hold on. I think if I remember correctly, you would have to add the, hold on a second. So say this was a kitchen that I did a year ago. And I think I'm missing a step, but let me see if I can cheat. So I'm going to say this was an amazing kitchen that I installed, that we that we installed in a home 2 years ago, right? See if it'll allow me. Wait, hold on. Cancel. I don't think. Let's see if it'll allow me to backdate it. I think I'm missing a step here. Yeah, it's not allowing me to backdate it. So with the backdating of the post, hold on. I'll just schedule it to go out as a throwback Thursday. So there's a timeline in the page that you can actually build. So this is where in filling out the description, you would put your founded date and whatever. So when you do that, it actually allows you to backdate the post to a time in the past where the post may have happened. But I didn't actually go through that step in filling out the About Us. And so anyone who has a page, you should absolutely pay attention and fill out those key dates so that if your business has existed sometime in the past, it allows you to backdate the post. But for this, I'm just going to have it be a throwback Thursday on the 27th post, okay? And then I'm going to schedule it. All right, and so here they are. So we have 2 posts pre-scheduled. So you can see here that this is a huge time saver. And you don't have to post every single day on Facebook. It's pointless anyway, especially if you're not running ad campaigns. I usually recommend when you're starting that you schedule the post to go out like every other day. And if you do that once a week and you keep the page active, you will definitely be in good shape. Does anybody have any questions in terms of pre-scheduling posts? Has anybody been doing this already, or are you guys struggling to sit down every day and actually post post content? I'm just interested to know what everyone's doing.
I had started doing it, and then it's LaShawn Alexander.
Hi, LaShawn.
How are you, Patia?
I am fine.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining.
You're welcome. I'm really loving the presentation.
Great.
Kind of filling in a lot of blanks that I have.
Perfect.
So yeah, I had done it before, but for some reason, my Facebook account started doing like this redirect thing.
Okay.
So I can access my Facebook on my mobile phone,
right.
But online, I just can't access it.
That is very weird. That definitely should not happen. So,
and I've reached out to Facebook a few times,
right.
Via their, and no one has gotten back to me.
Yes, Facebook, getting somebody in Facebook support is a bit challenging. It's something that I hope they can fix. It's always been like that, but I think as the platform has grown, right now we're talking about 2 billion people. It's getting kind of out of control. It's becoming increasingly harder to get them to get back to you. But that definitely sounds like a very technical glitch because there's no way that should be happening at all. But you should be able to still pre-schedule. So are you able to use a tablet at least?
You know what? Maybe I'll try using it on a tablet.
Try using it on a tablet because you should still be able to, as long as you have the Facebook Business Manager app on the tablet,
okay,
you should be able to still pre-schedule that way.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions as it relates to pre-scheduling your posts?
We do have questions in the chat room.
Okay.
Okay, let me pull it up.
Sure.
Okay. What was that? Andrea asked, do you know if another company is watching your business?
As far as I know, I don't think you're able to see that. I've never noticed it, and I, quite frankly, I don't. That's not something that you should worry about, because everybody's watching everyone anyway. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't be distracted with that. But the fact that you can watch someone else and get some good ideas or see what they aren't doing so well, I think is the more important thing to focus on. I've
Okay.
never noticed. I can look, but I don't think that it tells you, oh, this page is watching you. I've never noticed that.
Okay, it was a comment from Lishan. I hope I
Mhm.
pronounced it right,
Uh,
Alexander.
Rashawn, yes.
Yeah, and it says, no, how do you do that? But I'm not sure what it's
L-
That
LaShawn,
was
do you want to?
regarding, yeah, that was regarding an earlier question I had when you asked if we knew how to do it, and I said no.
Okay.
But you went through the process, so that
Okay.
was the answer.
Okay. Thank you. And sorry, you guys, I have a lot going on. So
No,
I'm
it's
not seeing
fine.
the chats. That's why I keep saying
Okay.
unmute yourself. It's easier for me to hear you than to read the chats. Any more questions, Galina?
And Raisa was asking, is it a way to have a live page and a test page for the same contest? For the same
No.
content?
No.
No.
There's and that quite frankly would just be giving yourself too much work. I mean, all of this is trial and error anyway. Even like for me, I've been doing this for a while and we get new clients and there are all these best practices and things that you know to do, but at the end of the day every client is always a little different. And so initially us, my team, we have to learn a lot of things ourselves. So you should not be afraid. I mean, I would assume that you have some decent pictures. If you have a business, you would have had that business because you know what you're doing. So don't be afraid of just getting out there and actually doing this stuff. Because what happens is, I think a lot of people, I call it failure to launch, right? So there was a time when I did these presentations for Constant Contact emailing, and for 5 years I did them. And for 5 years, there was this group of people that came to every single workshop that I did, and I loved them, but they never sent a newsletter out once. And they were so afraid of, like, oh my God, I'm going to do it wrong. You know what? Even if you do make a mistake, take it as an opportunity to learn. But to get this stuff right, you have to do it. So don't worry too much about that. Set up the page, ask for feedback from close, family members or colleagues or other, professionals, other people, and, just make it live and just do it. Because what happens when you overthink it too much is that you never actually start doing anything.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so before we get to the one last thing I want to show you guys before I have you guys show your pages or ask any closing questions, the time went so fast, is in terms of planning tools. I highly recommend that you guys get in the habit of using some templates and planning tools to keep yourself organized. So on the Friday afternoon that you're sitting down to post your content, you should not also be sitting down thinking what you're going to post. And I'm just going to go really quickly. And when you get the presentation, you just click on the slide. Hootsuite, which is also a social media scheduler, but you can, that you can use to distribute content on various social media networks. They also have a ton of really great templates for free that you can download and use to plan the kind of content that you're going to use on your social media. So really quickly, I'll just go through what the templates do, and then you guys can choose whether you want to use all of them or just some of them. But I definitely think the editorial calendar and the content calendar are the ones that you should pay attention to. So the first one is the social media strategy template. And this allows you to think ahead in terms of your content and plan what the goal of this content will be. So are you just growing the brand? Are you trying to turn your customers into fans? Are you trying to drive leads and sales? Are you, improving customer retention? And so this is the business objective. This would be your social media goal. And this would be, how do you know you're measuring How do you know that you're succeeding at that goal? Okay, that's the first template. Then there's a social media audit template, and this would be for people who already have a social media page, for you to take a step back and actually analyze what you have been doing and figure out if all the activity you've been doing over the years, exactly what the payoff has been. All right, and again, all of the templates will walk you through how to use them. Social media content calendar, highly recommended. This is a good job for an intern, I would say, or a teenage daughter, to pretty much have them, gather all of the content in one place. As you guys saw, I had my folders organized with like the types of furniture, the types of lighting, whatever. Ahead of time, if you do all of this stuff, when you sit down to actually pre-schedule your posts, all you need to do is drag and drop and refer to the template. You're not sitting there going on Google to find the article, or wondering, oh my goodness, where are the pictures of this product? Is it on the phone? Is it on Google Drive? Did the photographer send it to me? These are all activities that you should be doing ahead of time, so that when it gets to content distribution or content planning time, you have all the information ready to go. So this is a social media content calendar, and this can be used to plan all your social media activities. So here we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn that they're showing here. The editorial calendar would be, exactly the kind of content that you're posting, and you can add, if there's a deadline for this content, has it been published already? What time did you publish it? Any notes. So you'd want to pay attention to if a particular kind of content is getting great engagement and track it over time. And then, of course, the analytics report. So after you've been doing this for a while, you really need to know, based on the insights of the page, of the template, which kinds of content are actually bringing you the outcome that you're looking for. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you very quickly. And when you get the presentation, just like I did, if you just if you just click on the image that I have in the presentation, it will take you straight to that page, and you can take a look at the templates and use them as you see fit. Okay, so that's the end of me being on my soapbox. And now for the rest of the time, oh wow, we can take about as a couple minutes over if you guys need have anything that you want me to see. If anybody wanted to go ahead and share their screen and show me what you did, or show me what you have been doing, sometimes it's easier for me to help if I can actually see what you're referring to. And if anybody needs that kind of help, now is your chance to do so. So Galina, I guess everybody can share their screen, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I will let people to share their screens.
Okay, perfect. And
they're ready.
I'm gonna stop sharing mine. All right. So who's gonna be the brave person to go first?
Okay, don't be shy.
Brave person, except when I click on my link, it'll just do a lot of.
Okay, I will make you a co-host, and you will be able to share your screen. At the bottom of Zoom, you will see share screen in green. So just click on it and.
Well, my issue is that if I try to open up my page, that I just automatically get redirects. But someone can actually view my page if they.
So you can have access to your own page. That's crazy.
Yeah,
all right. So LaShawn, let me try to get to your page, and maybe I'll share my screen. All right. So it's just LaShawn Cupcakes.
Okay. So let me make PTL. Let me make you a co-host.
All right, thank you. So let me share. Okay, so I'll share my screen again. All right, are you guys seeing LaShawn's page?
Yes.
Okay, so that's very interesting that other people can see your page, but you can't see it. All right, LaShawn. So what did you want to, and the disadvantage of this is that because I'm just viewing the page as a fan, we can't go behind the scenes and maybe fix things for you or whatever, as you would have been able to do yourself had you been able to log in. All right, so this is your page. What questions did you have? And you guys, I think maybe this is a good opportunity also to give LaShawn some feedback. Oh, and do you guys remember that I was trying to find the Our Story part in the demo page and I wasn't getting that option? And I think it has something to do with, having a basic following before they allow you to do certain things. I'm not sure, but, we clearly weren't getting the option of adding the story. But LaShawn does have a story, so this is a great demonstration as to what I was talking about. And so, like I said, the story section of the page gives you the opportunity to explain the genesis of your brand and why you're doing what you're doing. Okay? So this is what you would do for the story, and you would, use it to get people to learn a little bit more of your page. Okay, LaShawn, so what are you, apart from, well, you can't access the page, so that's a problem. Pictures are great. And I have actually, LaShawn has actually made cupcakes for me, and they are absolutely delicious. So I know that the service is great, but it's unfortunate that you can't update the page the way you need to, but hopefully that changes soon. All right. Anybody else wanna share their page or ask me questions about things that they have been doing? Is Nora still on? I would love to see Nora's page. Did she leave?
She is still here.
I'm here.
Okay, Nora, do you want to share? Do you want to share your page so that we can look at some insights and stuff as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Go ahead.
I made you a co-host, Nora.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. I don't.
No problem. Take your time. No rush.
I don't actually see how you share the screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. There you go. Can everybody see the page?
Yes, we can. Is that a cake? Oh my God. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. That is amazing.
Thank you.
That is really amazing. Okay, so do you want to walk us through what you've been doing?
Okay, so I have the home page. I'd like to I'm updating my business. I've moved it. I'm growing.
Right.
So I yeah. I have I don't know really. I've taken all the information that you gave me, and I'm definitely going to go back and fix it.
Right.
I'm changing my hours. I'm moving. I was actually thinking about doing a video and adding it to the site because I've moved and I'm going to a new place, and it's much bigger, and I'm still in construction.
Right.
And I don't know if that's a great time right now because it's kind of still just like an empty hole, but it's still kind of exciting.
Right. You actually can do that. You can say, this is where I'm moving to. Behind the scenes sort of authentic videos get a lot of engagement on social media because it's like the human side to you, right? And then you can do like a before and after thing, like, hi guys, this is going to be my new location. And then when it's all ready, you can do the big reveal as a follow-up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that is actually the kind of content that people like to see and want to see because it's the human side of what's going on.
Okay.
So there's an interior designer that I follow, And she does this all the time. Like she'll show you like the house and it's like gutted and there's like dust everywhere or whatever. And then as she goes along the process, as they go along the process of getting the house up and running, and people follow it because they're excited because they can't wait to see the end result. You know what I'm saying? And then she'll do like the final post will be a side by side, like this is where we started, this is where we ended. And it's like always unbelievable how the transformation that happens, So
Okay.
I would say go for it. I think that's a great piece of content to share.
Okay. Okay. That sounds great. I'm also because I'm not technically open right now. I'm teaching classes and everything.
Right.
But I'm not really posting as much as I feel like I should be. And I think that that's because I used to post once a week.
Right. Right.
And now I'm like stuck and I'm not posting at all. So I'm getting a little bit worried that I'm going to start losing those followers.
Yes. You have to keep them engaged. So what I would recommend is that you use the pre-scheduling functionality. And if you were only posting once a week, then that's once a week, not even once a day. I'm thinking once a day, once a week. So even if you just wanted to keep that basic level of posting up, that's really just 4 pre-scheduled posts that you can sit down and do. And actually what you will find is that if you're pre-scheduling, you'll actually pre-schedule more content, because doing 4 posts will take you like what, 10 minutes? And then you're going to say, well, wait a minute, why not pre-schedule for twice a week? And then, once you pre-schedule it, it goes out on the day and time that you pre-schedule it to go. So you physically don't have to do anything.
Okay. Okay. And I have one last question. Like I have my calendar preset until June 2021.
Right.
So could I theoretically, like I use Trello instead of Hootsuite.
Yeah.
But could I theoretically post all of those and then just have them scheduled to come out, 2 weeks prior, 3 weeks prior? And what do you suggest the proper post time for an event or a function? Like pre-post.
What do you mean? For an event? What kind of event?
Like a teaching event. So I also teach classes. So like if I
So like baking classes? What kind of classes are they?
Yes, they're baking classes.
Okay, so you should, and if you're trying to get attendance to these classes,
yes,
you should definitely be promoting them at least 2 weeks in advance.
Okay.
Like if you already have the dates already lined up, then that is great content for your page. So you should have an event section. Could you scroll down? I can't see. Is your event section activated?
I do, but it's and I use the event page, but I just don't have any events right now. So.
Okay. But your classes can be considered an event?
Yes, I just don't have any classes right now.
Oh, you don't? Okay. So when you do, then you should definitely, list them all. And in terms of promotion, in terms of, sharing them on the actual page, you should be doing that at least two weeks before if you're hoping to drive attendance.
Okay.
And you can also do an event, a targeted event ad, where you actually do a small paid campaign to get people to register.
Okay.
If you want to, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing, Nora. I think we have time for just one more person, and then I will let you guys get back to the rest of your day. Anybody else want to share, or anybody else have questions?
I have my other page, Patia, that I'd like you to take a look at. I just launched that one just a couple of months ago, the LaShawn Consulting.
Okay. Okay. So, Galena, could you give LaShawn co-host rights so she can share that one maybe?
But I can't share it because it's like anytime I try to share anything on Facebook related, I get this reading.
All right. So do you want me to find it? I don't know. I feel like something's going on with your profile. I don't understand what that is. All right. So what is it? What is the name of the page?
LaShawn's Consulting.
LaShawn's Consulting. 1 second, let me pull it up and then I'll share pages. Don't see it. Do you have it attached to your personal profile?
Yes.
Hold on. So let me just find your LaShawn Alexander. Let's see if you have it. If I can get it. The only page that comes up is the cupcakes page. LaShawn's Consulting. All right, let me click it this way. All right, cool. So let me share my screen again. Let me bring the over here. Okay, so I'm gonna like it because I didn't realize it existed. And you see why the woman on Facebook said, people often say, why should I invite my friends and family? Because you see what happened, right? So I liked the page and then it automatically prompted me to invite other people. And so I'm usually mindful of this though. Like I only usually invite people to other people's pages if I think that they at some point in time, they may be a customer, or they may be able to refer someone to the business, because what happens is that the last thing you do want to have is a bunch of people who aren't your correct demographic. And so while it's helpful in the beginning, I would say, word of caution, to build your page, the initial audience be friends and family who can either support you or who can invite people who are your target audience. You don't want your entire fan base for your page to be friends and family, because then that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so this is LaShawn Consulting, and let's just go through the basic areas of the page to make sure they're filled out. So you have the website attached, you have phone numbers. So I would say here, you could probably do a little bit more building out in the about section, because it says we want you to succeed as much as you do, but it doesn't really tell exactly how you do that, right? In terms of the posts, welcome to first segment. These are tips for before working with any organization. Okay, so are you going to do a series of tips, LaShawn?
Yes, I was gonna kind of do that to keep people, just thinking about best practices, since that's one of the things that, I'm known for.
Okay, perfect. So then you have to, keep. I hope your Facebook thing gets gets fixed, because then that's gonna stop you from being as productive. Okay, so these are people that are mentioning you in their posts. You definitely want to do some work to get the following up, right? So that people can actually see. Here, I think for your kind of business, some automated questions would help,
Okay.
right? In terms of having people get to know you a little better. This is your logo.
Yes.
Okay, so I usually recommend that if you use your logo for your profile picture, that you have the cover image be something that actually, when someone looks at it, they can tell what the business is about.
Okay.
So I wouldn't just repurpose the logo. I mean, it's pretty in this treatment. I would actually have your graphic designer or somebody actually design an image that somehow tells the story of what you do.
Okay.
Like how I did with the demo account. Like clearly, you can tell that it's an interior design, or you may guess maybe furniture, but you can definitely tell the kind of business that that page represents.
Okay.
Okay. And then video content actually gets more engagement than anything else. So maybe you want to experiment with, instead of posting the tips in text format, of just making mini videos of you speaking the tips.
Okay.
So like you can easily say this. It'll take you like what, 30 seconds to record this on the video,
Yeah.
right? And so it also helps your audience to get to know you better as a person.
Okay.
All right. And your call to action is call now, right? Because that's what you want people to do. That's fine. Yeah. So it's just a matter of, I think I would clean up the cover picture. Instead of sharing tips in text form, do it in video format, and then pre-scheduling. Once you figure out the Facebook, I don't know what's going on with that, sorry. Pre-scheduling as much posts as possible to keep the page active, and then focusing on growing the page, so that you can actually begin to benefit from it. Now, that was great. All right, so unless anybody else has any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think we had a very productive time together today. Thank you all for joining us. And so, Galina, I'll turn the stage back over to you.
Okay, thank you. And I have PTS presentation, and I'm recording this video. So probably this afternoon or tomorrow morning, you will receive email from me with PTS presentation and a link to YouTube.
Okay, great. So, and I will see you guys next Monday.
But
And
meeting Wednesday also for
right.
Canva presentation, how to do graphics for Facebook on Canva. So it will be this Wednesday at 10:30, but with PTO, we're meeting next Monday.
Next Monday, yes. And actually, that is a great time to do the Canva presentation, because it will be helpful in terms of creating content for Facebook and Instagram. So that's great. All right, you guys. So have a great rest of your week, and I will see you again next Monday at the same time. Bye-bye, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mhm.